Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson's proposal for a corporate head tax has dealt a major blow today.
City council members sent a clear message they do not support it. Political reporter Paris Schutz has the latest.
Yeah, Dawn and Terrence, the mayor wanted to have his budget approved this week, but city council had a different idea. Members of city council's finance committee voted down the mayor's controversial employee head tax today by a wide 25-10 vote. It was part of a vote on the mayor's entire revenue package, which included, by our count, more than 20 different taxes and fees going up. But these 25 alders made it clear there will be no tax hikes unless there are more spending reductions.
Ask them if they support raising property taxes in Inglewood and North Lawndale. Ask them if they support collecting a grocery tax. Ask them that. If you ask me, guess what I'm going to tell you? I'm going to tell you no, because I believe in being straight up with the people of the city of Chicago. There are two options here. We challenge these big corporations and the ultra-rich to put more skin in the game, or you ask people who are standing in line for bread, milk, and food and clothing, ask them to put more skin in the game.
Now, that's a frustrated Mayor Johnson after this vote today, saying, well, alders, if you have better ideas than the ones I proposed, come and talk to me. Now, it came today after furious budget changes at the last minute, arm twisting, backroom meetings, and it comes as Cook County property tax owners, as you see there, are opening their bills, and residential homeowners on the south and west sides are seeing historically large increases, partly due to a decline in values in the loop. So that means everyone else has to make up the difference. But Mayor Johnson says it's further reason not to propose any city property tax. The alders that voted no today say, well, they got ideas.
I want to make perfectly clear that this committee right here is willing and able to stand and work with the mayor to come up with a balanced budget. The notion that we are not bringing ideas to the forefront is a farce.
So the jig is up. And this is what I was telling y'all a long time ago. And this is why New York is going to go the same way. Chicago is facing a $1.6 billion budget deficit. I've been yelling at the rooftops about this for the better part of 5 years now. Los Angeles is no different. Denver on a lower level, $300 to $400 million. New York is facing a $4 to $4.6 billion budget deficit. And so they are all running a socialist program in which they think that continuing to tax business owners and people that pay more than 50% of the taxes in these cities is going to translate into them having a balanced budget instead of them lowering and being fiscally responsible with taxpayer dollars. They just want to continue to tax their way to wealth, and that is the reason why they find themselves in this situation in the first place. The caveat to this is homeowners are already covering and paying for the stupid decisions of your alderman and your mayor and your governor. You are already waking up to some people having over 133% increases on their property taxes. That's the jig. That's the real play of this whole thing, is that they're trying to add another millage and another tax on top of you guys so that they can feel good about how they're spending your money. Now, remember, you guys work for them. Or is it supposed to be the other way around? They're supposed to be working for you because you pay their salaries. You guys have 50 aldermen. Your schools are $734 million. It's actually higher, but that's what they projected. Projections can also, most of the time, be a little bit lower than it's supposed to be. They said $1.15 billion for the budget deficit of Chicago going into 2026, when it's really $1.6 billion. And so you got a geography teacher who wants to defund the police and have community organizers go and negotiate with gangs on how to stop the violence inside of your communities. And this is one of the reasons why he's being voted down. He can't even find common ground with his constituents that also have been culpable in what is happening over in Chicago. And it's very unfortunate because it's one of the great American cities, but most, if not almost all, of these liberal cities that have a huge urban community and population are suffering at the hands of these people. And you didn't know or you wanted to act like you wanted to vote based off of diversity, equity, and inclusion until you open up them goddamn property tax bills. And then the people that's renting, right? Because some of the people that have properties that's paying these huge property tax bills, some of them 90%, 93%, 100%, 133%. Some of these people that are paying these huge property tax bills, they now want to say, oh my God, what is happening? But you proactively could have prevented this from happening if you had a higher than 20% voter turnout rate from a city of more than 2 million people. So now they are running y'all cities into the ground and they going to make you pay for it. You're going to get less services. They voted for themselves to have raises, and your schools are crumbling while they continue to support illegal migrants inside of Chicago. It's very, very, very disrespectful. So now their only two solutions is to tax more on one side or to tax more on the other side instead of being more fiscally responsible. Geniuses.
City Hall will be busy again tomorrow with the mayor's budget back on the table.
WGN's Judy Wang reports where things stand as he sticks with his corporate tax plan.
The proposed budget could face its first test Monday when it goes before the Finance and Budget Committees.
Bring me an idea that we can debate. Right now, nothing has been brought before me.
Mayor Brandon Johnson this weekend stood firm on a major sticking point, a corporate head tax.
We have two choices here. We're either going to challenge the ultra-rich and our big corporations to pay their fair share in taxes, or City Council is going to have to explain to the city of Chicago why they want to raise property taxes, raise garbage fees, collect a grocery tax.
Listen, again, the top 1%, I don't know if you guys have been listening, pay way more than 50% of the taxes in the major cities and your states and on the federal level. They cover the majority of things. They're the job creators, they are the tax. If you don't have any jobs, because they can leave, they are leaving. You've seen what's happening on the Loop. The Loop has a historic abandonment rate. They have historic lows in occupancy. Why do you think that is playing out? They see the landscape changing and they getting the heck up out of there because they knew that this mayor would be completely incompetent.
The mayor is pushing for passage by Thanksgiving. That's even after Finance Committee Chair Pat Dowell warned she would not support a head tax at any level, calling it a jobs killer. Mayor Johnson first proposed companies with more than 100 employees pay $21 per month per employee. He revised that to businesses with more than 200 workers. His administration estimates that would generate $82 million for violence prevention programs.
We have the best workforce. We put out the best, some of the best products in GDP in the entire world. And so what we want to do is make sure that Chicagoans' workforce is not being exploited, that corporations are not making money and not putting back in what it is that's needed to make our city the greatest city in the world.
Johnson's $16 billion spending plan avoids a property tax hike. Proposals include expanding the rideshare surcharge zone, a social media tax, boosting the so-called cloud tax, and borrowing nearly $2 billion to help fund infrastructure projects. Some city council members urged Johnson to look for more ways to
borrowing $2 billion. Credit rating is already downgraded, which means that they're going to be paying more in interest and taxes. This is so irresponsible. This is so irresponsible, bro.
At costs.
We have until the end of the year, 45 days to pass this. The fact that we're trying to do this now doesn't make a lot of sense. And we really need to make sure that we have time to ensure we're putting out a good budget for the taxpayers of the city of Chicago to ensure our future.
So, of course, like I do every single year, I'm going to be on top of it. I'm going to keep you guys in a loop, but as of right now, it seems like this is just a continuing disaster that is waiting, and it's going to be on your doorsteps as residents of Chicago. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off of life. I love you. I appreciate you. Good luck.